Hi, I'm Chris
Ed.
and welcome to Guide to Being Wrong. Again, thank you so much for following us. Please subscribe. We love your comments. Thank you so much. Today we're going to be talking about an industry that is collapsing in the United States, the motorcycle industry, right? There's a lot in the last few years, it's just been dipping really down. We're going to talk about some of the reasons why and if there's any hope that the motorcycle industry would come back, right? Will make a comeback. Ed, again, what do you think about this?
This is very, very sad because it's such an American part of our culture. Is this huge niche that is pretty much going away. Nobody wants, like clubs. Bike clubs are pretty much on being erased all over the country.
So, real quick, I just want to mention this because it's very important, okay? The motorcycle industry is not collapsing because of technology. It's one of those industries that is not collapsing due to technology,
No.
okay? It's basically collapsing because of greed, right? Very bad, poor decisions. I think that
You mean like Harley-Davidson?
well, and we're talking about the United States, okay? Because in the United States, motorcycle is a luxury, okay? And one of the biggest problems that happened here, if you ask me, I think that all the way until COVID, so this is the year what, 2026, right? COVID happened in what, 2019, right? One of the things that happened in COVID that hit the motorcycle industry hard was that people start getting all these checks and they stay home. And now the people didn't know what to do with it and they started buying motorcycles because hey, what guy don't want to have a motorcycle, you know? So suddenly you're getting money and you need to do something with it, and you finally say, hey, I can finally buy my toy, my favorite toy, a toy that I always wanted.
There was a totally
Yeah.
explosion of people
Yeah.
buying
During
bike.
COVID, right?
Yeah.
And what happened right after that? The companies, American companies, because again, this is a very important part. In the United States, a motorcycle is a luxury. It's a luxury. They decided that instead of keep investing and making the motorcycles affordable, they made it even more expensive, more fancy, shinier. But the motorcycle base was exactly the same. Mm-hmm. You know, they just made it shinier, so therefore they could charge $10,000-$20,000 more for the same motorcycle. And guess what happened? The economy collapsed, right? And when the economy collapses, the first thing that people do is start luxuries, right? No more trips to Europe. No, if you go out to eat, maybe you only go once a month instead of every weekend. And that toy that you have sitting there that you only use, once or twice a month, now is just sitting there, collecting dust.
There is a lot of that. Yes, yes. And like you, I think you're mostly talking about Harley Davidson, or no?
I'm talking about look.
Because Harley Davidson did that. They pretty much like 5 years ago. They decided they are not going to have an introduction bike.
So
they are just going to have like bikes for rich people.
So the main motorcycle industries in the United States, the American is Indian and Harley-Davidson, and they both took basically the same path.
No. The Indian didn't. The Indian is actually doing okay, but these are, even though like if you go to like a dealership or a Harley Davidson, and you go to a dealership of an Indian, it's completely different worlds. Like even though they used to compete with each other like in the 80s, now it's totally different kinds of worlds. If you go to a Harley Davidson, right, you're going to see the old bikers, these guys that are still part of the clubs. They are still like going there to fix their bikes or trying to even bring in the new the youth to see if they can.
So the Indian motorcycle has gone to different phases, not like Harley-Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Indian motorcycle at the beginning, believe it or not, I'm a big Indian motorcycle fan. I love Indian motorcycles.
So, but I'm saying it's a different culture.
But
if you go to a dealership,
I know,
it looks more like a Mercedes-Benz dealership.
But what happened with the Indian was that Indian clothes, it was out for many years.
Mm-hmm. You mean on the war thing, like when the Americans decided to buy pretty much all the bikes?
Yeah, and then
they could not come back to the market.
They didn't. So what Indian did is they basically took the government contract and focused only on government. On government. By the time they tried to come back, they couldn't catch up with Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson did the opposite. They concentrated on customer service and not the government. And then at the end, Harley-Davidson just went for the ride.
But that is way back on the 70s.
I know. But what happened is this is the difference of, because I want to get to what you're saying right now about Indian. That Indian was out of the picture for a long time. When they came back with the new management, new ideas, new investments, new this, they were modernized. Like they were looking now into what was happening now, which Harley-Davidson, since there was no competition, they could just go for the free ride. There was nobody to compete with. They didn't have to do nothing. And then when they come to this part, Harley-Davidson made probably the worst mistake any company can. Forget about the customer base. You know? And they started making motorcycles, luxury motorcycles, for very expensive. And at the same time, they started, and I get it, because what you call it, electrical is the future, but not for bikes. Bikers don't like
what
electrical.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, but like if you,
I think Harley-Davidson put a bike like 3 or 4 years ago that it was electric and it would last, the battery would last like an hour. So every hour you.
I mean, that's what Harley-Davidson and they I mean, it's horrible what's happening to them, because for some reason they're not realizing what's happening. So you have an old.
No, they know it's intentional.
And you know what?
Intentional.
You know what?
They do not want the middle class or the upper middle class in their dealerships. They only want the pretty much the 60, 70 people, all rich. No, it was intentionally. Pretty much Harley-Davidson decided that they only want the boomers with money. That's their base now.
So Harley-Davidson built a name, a brand. They build these leather jackets. They build the clothes.
Yeah.
The hard, they have the restaurants, they have the hotels, they have all this stuff, right?
That's what they are into now.
Yes. The problem with that is it's always great when the economy is doing good. When the economy starts going down or things are not doing well, those are the first things that people start cutting, and that's what Harley-Davidson is getting hit hard. They made, I think, if you ask me, they made a couple of bad decisions. Number one, the worst decision they made is forget about their core customer, the base customer, right? Those old guys that be riding these bikes, buying them all the time, going to the dealers. They forgot about the mama and papa shops. They build them, to make them where they are. They have them closed, and so they could have these big freaking malls looking places that look so fancy that no real biker would actually go to. Bikers, I mean, I used to live in Newburgh. They had a dealership over there, and it was with dirt. It was made out of wood,
so beautiful.
And it was always full of bikers. You go, I mean, every time I drove through it, you see bikers everywhere. But that's what they wanted. They want to hit the dirt. They want the dust to go up in the air. They want to hear the noise of the bike. That's why bikers was freedom. It was about rebellion. It was like, this is me.
No, that culture is gone.
That culture is gone. I think they kill it.
And I don't think it's because even Harley-Davidson is the main character. It's just one bike, right? But you do have now options with other brands
Yeah.
that are that are also beautiful and affordable, but people do not want them, mostly because the, this kind of culture has to be passed from dad to son. I mean, that's how it always have worked. Here and there, you can have somebody with out of the blue coming and buying a bike, and because there is two different. These are two different completely things, right? One buying a bike and riding it, I don't know, the weekends or whatever it is, right? And the other one is being part of this culture. You know, like when you want to be part of that, and now you are being told that you have to pretty much pay the floor. You know, like you have to go a few years just serving the club, that you are going to be put in the last place, that everything expected from you, even washing the other bikes, and and then maybe in 2-3 years they will stop you doing that, and when somebody else comes, when they throw keys to you and says go and bring lunch, and you have to go and bring lunch for the group, all of that is something that it will come natural to you if your dad taught you that. You know, like if you saw your dad or your dad brought you there, and now he's playing. No, you have to do this. Now you belong in this part. Now when we ride, you have to be in the last part of the. You know, it's not like we just ride from here to here. You know, this is your position, and your position is in the last place, and pretty much when we go partying or whatever it is, you do not get to drink. You know, you just get to clean, and that is, and then you know they will allow you to advance a little, right? So all of that it can only be taught if you are expecting this to go. I mean, like if you already know this is the price that you are going to pay, right? But if it's just somebody out of the blue that watch like a movie or something or a series or whatever, just comes with all these expectations and just buys a bike, even a Harley, right? And and suddenly he goes to the club and he's mistreated, or in his head he's mistreated or not respected or whatever. He's just going to back up and do his own little thing. And why is that important? Because a whole culture gets lost. You see that?
So, look, we are in the year 2026. That's where we are right now. Okay, so the group that make the Bikers Club famous are right now in their 60s, 70s.
Of course.
Okay, so most of them cannot even drive a motorcycle anymore. Okay, that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. So now, at that time, even back in the 80s, motorcycles were very affordable.
100%.
Very affordable.
Yes.
Actually, people could just buy one with no problem. Have it in the garage, sit there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a couple of things happened that we are now where we are. Technology has almost destroyed also this industry, and I want to explain to you why. Okay. One of the things about being a biker and having a bike is that you were able to fix it yourself, play with yourself, do things yourself.
Of course.
Now a bike is more like a computer than a bike.
Yeah.
Okay? Now most of the bikes, you have to take it to a dealer just for them to adjust it or do something. Just to run what's wrong with it, they make you take it to a dealer. You see what I mean?
100%.
So that piece is gone.
Yeah.
That piece of you on a Sunday afternoon, you take your bike and you open it and you start doing, it's gone.
And that's that's the main complaint of Harley-Davidson bikers.
Of course.
That the new bikes do not let you have all this free way to
do anything.
To modify.
Yeah, to modify.
They are like, this is what it is.
Change, yeah.
And you want a different wheel? Okay, we have these options. So it's not like they do not let you go all over the market for these things.
So this is all these things, and all these things could have been could I mean everybody saw this coming, but the companies didn't, again, like you said, didn't just care. They just didn't care because at the end of the day, a motorcycle is a toy. It's a toy for the big boy. That's what it is, and that's what it should have always been. It should be something that, because in the United States, again, we're talking about the United States, okay? Because I want to mention something about somewhere else, but in the United States, a motorcycle is a luxury. It's a toy, okay? It's a toy. It's not used for nothing else, okay? You have all these things happening at the same time, right? You have a company that have the most recognizable in the world, right? Because at the end of the day, even somebody in China that is into motorcycles would love to have a Harley-Davidson. Who wouldn't? Who would? I mean, even I'm an Indian guy, but even I wouldn't mind having one in my living room. If I had one, I put it in my living room. You know, somewhere right there in the middle of the living room, you know.
But the Chinese actually have bikes that totally look like Harley-Davidson.
They're garbage. Don't talk about Chinese bikes. They're fucking garbage. Don't even try it.
No, but
Don't even put Harley
that.
Davidson and Chinese bikes in the same sentence.
Okay, but let me say that.
Don't
right
even
now.
try, man.
But now you have Chinese bikes that they are beautiful and they look kind of like the Harley Davidson in the good times.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Listen, don't try that, man. Please don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass yourself.
Have you seen them?
Even the Chinese will slap you around for you saying that.
There is one dealership right here on Queens.
So
BENDA.
BENDA.
This is
Chinese people?
I have to take you there.
No.
The place
don't take me
that it's not like they doesn't look like a Harley Davidson dealership. No.
Is it a
Does
Honda?
not even
It
look
looks like a
like
Honda?
no. It looks like a bicycle repair shop.
Oh.
That's
That's what people like.
It looks like it's like this tiny place in this corner.
It's a dealership?
It's a dealership, and that is the actually dealership, you know. But you get inside, and they have pretty much stuck one bike on top of the other one. Beautiful bikes.
Of course, yeah.
Beautiful bikes.
But anyway.
Cheap as hell.
So, anyway.
Like for $4,000 to $5,000, you can buy these huge bikes.
They're garbage.
That are beautiful.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Okay, but
they're garbage. They don't last long. They're garbage.
no. They used to. The BENDA.
Oh, no, but now they're better.
No, the BENDA are way better.
Oh, but
As they
way
used to be.
better.
No, if you compare with the Indian, right?
Listen. At the end, listen. When it comes to quality, when it comes to quality, right? Mm-hmm. Honda. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say names.
Okay.
But when it comes to quality, Japanese, Italian, and American are the best.
Yes.
The best, no doubt. In the world, nobody even comes close to them.
Yes.
And I think I want to say in the order that I think: Japanese, American, Italian. Those are the best motorcycles. Now, what is the problem with these motorcycles? That the cheapest one you're going to find is at least 25,000. Okay, so
if you want you want a cruise.
That's just a motorcycle. Parts, repairs, maintenance. So you basically it's very expensive. And at the same time, the only way that one of these bikes are going to be some sort of, maybe if you got money, affordable, if the dealer is next to you, because there's not that many dealers for this around in the country.
So in price, I would say like a bike that you actually want to buy on a Harley Davidson, right? It is probably 16,000. But the Indians, they do have one that is beautiful for like an entrance bike. That is the big crime of the Harley Davidson. They do not have a good entrance bike.
One of the biggest problems with Harley Davidson is, again, they and of course I'm not a manager, I'm not none of this stuff for any company, but I mean, anybody could have seen this. You have a group of people, your base core customers, and you know they're fading away. You should start building for the new generation.
Yes, but what they are failing. So I'm sorry. Let me finish with the Indian first. The Indian does have a beautiful bike that is like an entrance bike for like $7,000. Like you will be proud riding that bike.
Yeah, but
it's a beautiful low bike.
but again, Indian has something that Harley didn't. Indian had a fresh start. We knew young management.
Mhm.
We knew ideas.
Mhm.
Harley Davidson had the same all. You know, so that's why. I mean, some CEOs are very good, but CEOs should be changed every 3 or 4 years because you need somebody fresh with new ideas, someone younger. And I say that all people don't have a good idea. Saying normally when you just fresh out of school, when you hear new ideas fresh, your way of thinking is different. The risk is higher.
Mhm.
Harley Davidson play for the safe. Harley Davidson, to me, if you ask me, say, listen, we have a name. Our name costs this much money, and if this is who we want to attach to our name, we're only dedicating ourselves to this specific group of people, and it paid off for a little bit. But again, when you have a
Because
luxury,
it has an ending. That's
course,
the
it has
problem.
an ending.
It has an-
And-
if you see, for example, one of those huge bikes doing a cruise, right, where there are like 100 bikes.
yeah,
More, of course you do see a lot of Harley-Davidsons, a lot of Italians, a lot of Japanese, but no Indian bike. That is for me insane because Indian totally belongs there.
yes,
Totally belongs there. Like the idea that the Indian is less than a Harley is
it's
ridiculous.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
First is in price is way less, and it's beautiful.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. If there's one thing I noticed about motorcycles, the motorcycles are like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Like if you're a Harley Davidson person,
Yeah.
you're a Harley person.
Yes,
That's it.
yes,
And if
yes,
you're an
yes.
Indian person, you're an Indian. That's
And there
it.
is no Indian
This-
people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's like if people drink Coke, they're gonna ask for Coke no matter what.
So please, if you're a Harley Davidson guy, please go to
Go-
the Indian
go to the
dealership.
dealership, yeah.
Now, don't go with family or anything like that. Go on your own.
Yeah.
Because you do not want nobody see you there.
If people like Pepsi, they're gonna ask for Pepsi. Hey, can I get a Pepsi? There's no Pepsi, and they get upset. Oh, damn it! I take the Coke. So the same thing goes with Indian
But Indian is the Dr. Pepper.
But yeah.
It's the original
It's the
one.
original,
You
it's
know,
the
what are you
original.
talking
It's
about?
original,
The
yeah.
Harleys are after.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's
there's a lot of history behind that, and there's a lot of stuff. And me, I love Indian motorcycles better than Harley Davidson.
Yeah, most people don't.
Most people don't, because Harley Davidson has the catch, has the leather jackets, has the movies.
But as I
has
said one more time, but what I blame the whole thing is no Harley Davidson, no the Indian people, is the pretty much the boomers did not taught their kids this culture, and or they have not bring young people
but
because they are pricks.
well, I want to put a spin to that too a little bit. Education has a lot to do with it. Because the bikers, we're non-educated guys.
No,
We're guys that just wanted to go out, get drinks, get girls. Hey, listen, that was the goal. The goal is to go out, have a good time, come back home, and that was it. So education puts a lot of stuff to that. People got educated.
You think the kids did not want to be part of this?
Because education puts a lot of stuff to a lot of things, and now when you get educated, you start doing other things, and most people that are educated don't get on bikes. I mean, what educated people do is buy the fancy ones and put it in the garage just to look at.
Of course, that's what they are doing.
Yes, that's what
That's
they do.
what
They're not buying it to ride. They just buying it to say, "Hey, I got it."
Yeah,
Maybe once in a blue moon they go out.
Okay.
And
that does not count though.
I remember back in the 80s and the 90s, I used to go to, in the 90s, I used to go to Bear Mountain. I used to go to Fishkill just to look at the bikes. You see 20, 30 bikers, 40, 50 just run around on the weekends, you know. And it was nice to see, like a convoy of bikes just running around, you know,
Even in
through
Long
the
Island,
mountains.
like you have St. James, Port Jefferson,
Yeah,
they will be full of bikes.
yeah,
Now you go there, is all these old guys with Harley Davidson.
yeah. But now I just want to mention this because we have spoken about the United States, because we do agree that in the United States a motorcycle is like a luxury.
Yeah,
Right now,
in other countries, it's
so
just
it's
a transport
it's-
thing.
in the United States is dying.
Mhm.
Is dying. Honda isn't making a killer. Honda is overall Honda is a Japanese company. Is the biggest seller around the world. Because around the world, a motorcycle is actually transportation.
Of course,
You
but
know,
that is different.
No,
That's
but-
totally different.
so
like you can say here
But-
in the States, now you have a boom of scooters.
yeah, but that,
and they go all around. You know, like,
listen. Don't ever fucking say that. Okay, don't ever.
That's
compare,
what I'm saying,
Don't ever
though.
compare a motorcycle with a scooter.
But
man.
that's my whole
No,
point.
stop. No, don't do that, man. Don't do that to yourself. Stop fucking. What the fuck is wrong with
What
you?
is a culture?
What are you fucking talking about? What are you fucking talking? Don't compare a motorcycle to a scooter, man. Okay, a scooter is for babies.
That's what I'm
okay?
saying.
But what I'm saying is this: the motorcycle industry is not going to die. It's actually booming everywhere.
But transportation, though.
Everywhere, of course, everywhere in the world. Because again, in the United States, it's a luxury. In the world, the thing between 3 to almost 4 billion people have a motorcycle for work. They actually use it for work transportation every day. They use it in the everyday life.
Of course.
In the United States, they only use it for the summer, a couple of times in the summer. Not even every day, just a couple of times.
No,
in the
but
summer.
those are those people that I'm telling you that they buy the bike just to have it, and they no. Besides all of that, there is this culture of these people that get together every weekend.
Look.
It's almost the church.
Look,
That is the part that is disappeared.
of course, and that's already gone.
Yeah.
It's already gone. Because now there's some hope. There's some hope because there's an Indian company, I forgot the name of it, is selling motorcycles like hotcakes. These guys got it. These guys did it. These guys went back to the 60s and
Yes.
70s.
Yes.
They building motorcycles without computers. Motorcycles that you can fix yourself.
Actually, it belongs to a European. A
Motorcycles.
European went and bought that company in the 80s. And instead of moving it to any other place, just start hitting the Indian market like crazy.
People don't realize, because Americans don't really. The truth of the matter is, Americans are very naive about a lot of things that are happening around the world. A lot of things that have, they don't have no idea how the world really works. You
Not
know?
because of anything, but because we're not being told them. No, it's not like a lack of interest
But
or anything like that.
I'm gonna
It's
be
more
honest.
like a,
I'm gonna be honest with you. With technology now, all you gotta do is a little research. I mean, it's out there. I mean, I could believe that 30, 40 years ago, because when internationally all you had was BBC and CNN. Those were like the main international news channels for the whole world. But nowadays, man, you'll be surprised what's happening around the world. You don't even have to be ready; you can just look it up. But anyway, not to stay into a topic. This company is making a killer in Africa, in Asia, and South America.
yes.
They-
And now it's moving bikes to the.
And they're moving to the United
Yeah,
States.
they're moving.
The price of this bike is less than $2,000.
And they are also really nice.
They're beautiful, they're nice, they last long, and the main thing, the most all these people like, is that anybody could fix it. You could fix it yourself. The parts are available. You don't have to order parts from nowhere. I mean, you can just get them anywhere. So this is the perfect toy for any person, because at the end of the day, like right now, look, not to go far from it. If you bought a car in the 90s, you could still take it to a mechanic.
Totally. Now it's
If you
impossible.
buy a car now, you cannot take it to a mechanic.
No.
You have to get to a dealer.
There are all industries going
It's
away.
going up. Yeah, it's yeah. Because now, basically, it's more computer than car.
And probably because a lot of them are Indian and Chinese, you are not expecting too much of them, right? But just go on Google BENDA. The bike is beautiful.
Just you're talking about this Chinese garbage.
That is one of them.
Listen.
I'm sorry, but the BENDA is one of the bikes that are coming from India to the.
Okay, the Indian bike that has nothing to do with BENDA.
Totally, it's one of them.
Listen, the Indian bike. Okay, that they're actually opening dealerships in the United States.
That's what I'm saying.
Which I'm very happy for that. Right now, of course, and Honda is still has a playing field. I mean, yeah. Honda is untouchable. It's untouchable. Honda
because it's a real bike.
It's a real bike, and it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Honda it has good quality, accessible price. You know, so it's
and
there.
Nobody feels bad driving.
Exactly. Honda is untouchable. Yeah. Honda is untouchable. You know, because it's right there. You know. But this Indian bike, made in India, is India industry, is one step below Honda. But somebody in Africa
can fix it.
that could pay a Honda in Africa is 5,000. This bike is 2,000. Which one do you think they're going to pay? You know, in South America, the same thing. In Asia, it's the same thing. So Honda is going to have to rethink how they do things. You know, and I don't think Honda will ever lower the standards. You know, I don't think they will ever lower the standards. I think that they just have to, if you ask me, do the same thing that these Indian guys did, which was make the motorcycle how it used to be, all parts. Something that somebody could put together and take it apart and put it back together without taking it to some freaking guy in a dealership. Because that was the fun part about the bike. That you took stuff out, you put stuff in, and you rode it yourself with your own tools. You didn't have to go and buy special tools. You didn't have to go and buy nothing. You could just get any tools and use it. And I think if Honda takes that step and says, listen, we got to do this to this.
Or have some options for that.
Exactly. I think Honda is going to be in good shape. If Honda don't do that, Honda is going to go, it's going to start feeling it.
Everybody needs to have, or America needs to have a really good entrance bike. You know, like one that somebody in the 20s would buy.
Yeah.
And, you know, is a reasonable price, that it looks cool, and we need to have the pretty much restructure this thing of the culture, right? That it doesn't have to go around. It doesn't need to go around luxury or something like that, but more like pretty much men's clubs, because that is the biggest problem, right? That they are gone in the United States. There is no such a thing as any more. They call it third homes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's gone. That's not going to come back. That's gone.
But that is gone. The culture of bikes is gone.
Yeah. The culture in bikes in the United States, I don't think will ever come back.
And there's no chance to.
No, I don't see it. And the reason why I don't see it is because the more time goes, we adapted more to technology, and we are separating ourselves from dirt and dust. You know, there was a time that a cowboy, dust and dirt and greasing your hands. It's that was like a man. You know, now it's not. Now they see you like that, you're homeless. You know what I mean? But there was a time that when they saw you with sweat and dirty and stuff, it was, oh man, look at that guy. The guy's a man. Now you're homeless. If they see you walking around with grease in your hands and dirt and a dirty shirt, you're homeless. I mean, that's where we are now. So that Americana is gone, you know? So it's a luxury now. And the only thing that is going to save Harley-Davidson and Indian is to make motorcycles more affordable.
I have a lot more hope for the Indians, though.
Oh yeah. Harley-Davidson already look. They
Because
still sticking to the electrical motorcycles, which I don't understand what the heck is going to their heads. But they're still sticking to it.
Mhm.
Nobody else is doing
I
it.
have the both options. Like with the Indians, right? You can buy absolutely, the digital thing and this and that, but you can also buy just the original one.
Exactly.
Like okay, so do that, but have the other option because a lot of people do not want that look. They do not want all those buttons.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, people are paying a lot of money for motorcycles that are still like the old ones from the 60s and 70s and 80s. If you have one of those in your garage and you want to sell it, somebody's going to buy it. Because now that's like you can find it anywhere.
And that is the main point why Harley Davidson is going to go bankrupt. And pretty much what is happening is that in any other industry, right? Does not matter, Ford or BMW, whatever. There is a huge difference between buying a brand new car and a old car because the old car has been beaten up, has been pretty much destroyed by the road.
Yeah.
In the Harley Davidson, because you have all these people just buying them to have them.
You have them, and then the economy goes down, then they get
They want
recall,
they want to sell
and
them
then the selling, the value is,
the same.
so they lose money on it. And
No.
then-
Harley Davidson has a great hold on the value. That is the biggest problem with the Harley Davidson.
Actually, no, it's the other way around, man. People getting the stuff repo because they cannot afford it, and then when they just try to sell it, the price is not the same because look, Harley Davidson is selling so little motorcycles that the dealers don't even know what to do. Harley Davidson don't want to take them back. The dealers have.
I mean, it's full of second-hand
Yeah,
bikes.
yeah,
So you might be right.
because they try to sell it, nobody wants to buy them. Right, believe it or not, right now, and this is how bad it is, because right now is the best time to buy a motorcycle because they're so cheap. Use one because the value went down so much that the dealers and even the owners are willing to take a loss just to get rid of it. And even with all that, you're still not buying them.
So many dealerships closing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what I hear is that Harley Davidson is actually pretty much causing the closing of these dealerships. They want them to own them from now on. So they are just intentionally letting be destroyed. You think there's some truth in that?
Harley Davidson has gone through so many in the last few years, through so many different changes, and they've been focusing on the wrong thing instead of focusing on customer care and what do my customers need. They're going on what we
Brand.
want.
Okay.
What we want instead of what the customer needs.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference between the Indian company. The Indian company did a lot of research, and this is why they're so great because they went to Africa, they went to Asia, they went to South America, they went to Colombia, they went to Chile, they went to Peru, and they asked people, "What do you want?" And people ask the same thing. We want something that works, that we don't have to wait for weeks to get parts, something that can work for years. The Chinese bikes, and this is all around the world, they're great, they're cheap, but they break. After a year, they garbage.
Not after a year.
After a year,
used to be that. No anymore.
So Chinese bikes are not making bikes anymore. See, the other problem with Chinese bikes is this. This is the problem with Chinese industry, period. Today they're making this. Tomorrow they're making this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they're making this. Tomorrow they're making this.
There is no.
Tomorrow they're making this. So this company that made that bike, that made freaking 20 million bikes, and now a year later, people are asking for parts, it's already gone.
Yeah.
Because now they're making freaking, cookware, instead of motorcycles. So that bike is garbage. That's what I keep telling you. They're garbage.
Such a thing as a heritage.
Because China doesn't have a dedicated industry for bikes.
No, but they are creating it.
They don't have it.
No, but they are
They don't
creating
have it.
Well,
Do they have it?
no, but
So they don't have it. So don't fucking. They don't have it.
they don't.
The Indian company. That's why this Indian company is doing so great.
Because it is.
They went to the customer. What do you want? They made what they wanted, and then they said, "We're gonna build dealers, and we're gonna send you mechanics to all these countries." Africa is full of them. Africa loves those Indian bikes because they were designed to take a beating and to take passengers.
I hope people don't get confused. One thing is the
Indian country.
Indian
we could say country.
And the other one is
The Indian motorcycle in the United States. Yes, the Indian motorcycles in the country, they're doing very, very good.
Yeah.
They do very. And what the only thing that they did, listen to the customer. What do you want? How much you're willing to pay? And they came out with it,
Mhm.
and they doing great. They did exactly the opposite of what Harley-Davidson did. Harley-Davidson did the complete opposite. Don't listen to nobody. This is what we want, and they're going to pay for it
And
because
this
we're
way
Harley-Davidson.
We're selling this.
Yeah, because we're Harley-Davidson, and they're going to pay for it just because we're Harley-Davidson. And people say no. That's the bottom line. So I think it's the motorcycle industry. I think it's booming around the world, not in the United States, but around the world.
And they use the bikes. They use the bikes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. And around the world is not a luxury. It's a need. It's a requirement. It's a working tool. Okay. So in around the world, almost 4 billion people use this every day for the everyday moving.
Mhm.
But in most countries, the motorcycle is a taxi.
Mhm.
There
is a lot of that.
It's a working tool. So they need something that is going to work, that is going to take the dirt, that is going to go through potholes, it's going to do, and these motorcycles are actually doing the job. So hopefully they do come to the United States, so the United States could go back to people riding and enjoying the freedom of riding a bike, right?
Yes.
With a price that everybody can afford,
Mhm.
and don't feel like you have to be rich just to own a
Just
piece of freedom.
blame the boomers. If you have any problem, you
No, I don't blame them. I blame
the boomers.
I blame the corporation because they got greedy. They saw that there was people that were paying for it no matter what. They saw that they own part of history, of tradition, and they took advantage of it. And now is hitting them in the face. So a lot of it, I think, is corporation greed and bad decision making.
There is a lot of that, but I mostly blame the boomers.
No, I don't think so. But, I'm right, he's wrong. There's no other way around it.
That's how it is.
Listen, again, thank you for listening to us. We're not experts on this field. We're just talking about experience and what we see and hear. Again, do your research when you do any purchase. Please do your research on this stuff.
Do your research and
Yeah.
go and buy an Indian.
Yeah, but do
Not from India though, like
Indian
an
American,
American.
it's a beautiful.
It's a beautiful
bike.
bike.
It's a really beautiful. If you're into this stuff, it's a beautiful bike. So again, thank you for listening to Chris and on Guide to Being Wrong. Yes, and please subscribe, leave your comments, and again, see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.